Yes, I'm old. And because I'm old, yes, I'm old, I can remember when a movie cost, I don't know, a buck? When a candy bar cost 10 cents? When a newspaper was worth reading and it was 10 cents? By the way, don't get mad at me for my newspaper take. I've been in the newspaper business since I was 9 because I had a paper route in St. Paul, Minnesota, in the snow, uphill, both ways, and people wouldn't pay. Bastards. I used to go around with a tin can door to door. You owe me $1. Slam. That's when I realized I lacked charm. I was a 9-year-old lacking charm. In the snow, uphill, both ways. DAC, gasoline, and milk. When you're trying to figure out the value of DAC, and you can now do this, reflecting on the Matthew Stafford trade, a first and a third, which, by the way, our Brian Broaddus predicted by interviewing 7 general managers like a week ago. And they said, yeah, it'll be a first and a third or so. And that's exactly what it was, except for the additional first that the Rams give up. So you have to take the baggage that is Jared Goff. Depending on how you look at it, it's a first and a third still. Or you could be the Lions and look at this and say, listen, Stafford was going to leave. We got Goff. Now, it's a pricey experiment. He fell into disfavor with Sean McVay, but Jared Goff's not done in the NFL. And so, good for the Lions. They came up with something. So, however you want to look at it, that establishes Dak's value as this and this, or this and this. Remember, Dak Prescott is 27, not 32. And again, we can all have our opinions on who's a better. I think Deshaun Watson is a superior quarterback than Dak Prescott. I would rather have Dak Prescott than Matthew Stafford. But there's plenty of people that go, wait a minute, Matthew Stafford was the number overall pick in a draft. And although he's done things in a big way with numbers. He hasn't done things in a big way with wins. I think that might be a Detroit thing. But we all get to have our fun evaluations. This much is clear. Matthew Stafford trade sets a value on other guys. It sets a value on Deshaun Watson. As one guy, I think it was Charles Jones II, used to play for the Texans. And he said, if Stafford's going to get that, then Deshaun is going to be worth 5 first-round picks, your wife, and your firstborn child. and that rings about right. That is absolutely the kind of thing that Houston, which is going to lose their trade, by the way. Houston's going to trade J.J. Watt, and they're going to lose the trade. Houston's going to have to, I think, trade Watson, unless they can massage him otherwise, and they will lose the trade. The rest of the NFL thinks that they will outsmart the Houston Texans. And because Jack Easterby is still involved in football, they will outsmart, in a football sense, the Houston Texans. That's my dollar bet. Speaking of a dollar used to be able to get you a lot of things. Okay, in 19 whatever, going to a movie was $1. 1970. Okay, 20 years later, it was $7. 40 years later, it's $17. Now, the only reason a movie's a bad example is, in a COVID time, movies seem like a bad business, unless you're a tricky stock trader for AMC. But you know what I mean. Before COVID, movie theater, I did it all the time. We went to the movies all the time. Me and my kids, when they were a little bit younger, all the time. $10, $15, $17, it didn't matter. It was our entertainment. Same thing with gas. When gas prices were $1, or before that, when they were 50 cents, not everybody could afford the 50 cents or the $1, but you spent it. Why? Because you need gas. The best example I've got for you is milk, or we'll make it milk formula, whatever. I don't know. It's been a long time since I was raising babies. Baby's got to have its milk, right? Got to have its formula. Dad, what would you pay to get your baby the formula he needs? Once upon a time, the formula for a baby was 10 cents. Then it became $1. Now I assume it's not $1. I assume it's expensive to get a baby's milk and formula. Now, I am not an expert on babies anymore. I am an expert on milk. This is a true story. When I was a kid, and even up until recently, when I realized, you might want to stop that. I drank milk like 20 people combined drink water. When I was a kid, and it must be why I have strong bones. I was the oldest of 6 kids. We drank so much milk, but mostly me, that my parents, and this is not a joke, they thought about buying an industrial milk dispenser like you get at the high school cafeteria, where they put the big bladder bag full of milk in the top, and then it comes out the little spout. Honestly, that's how much we were going through milk like that. They're like, man, we're buying it by the gallon. We're putting 4 gallons in the fridge, and the next day they're gone. And I don't know how much the milk was when I was 13 years old. I don't know, $1? I don't know. Well, now it's $3, right? I still buy milk. Not as much. I still want my milk. Not as much. We went to dinner at my father-in-law's the other day. He's 93. And I sit down at the dinner table, and what appears before me, courtesy of my father-in-law, like magic? A glass of milk. He knows. That was my big treat. I had a glass of milk. So we buy what we have to buy. And yes, I am getting to Dak Prescott. What's going to be the cost of Dak Prescott? The financial cost of Dak Prescott, the contractual cost. We broke the story 8 months ago. 5 years, $35 million APY. I believe that adds up to $175 million. 110, almost 110 in guarantees. That's no insult. It's not disrespectful. It's a fact. It was a very attractive contract. Dak chose not to sign it. Dak's agent chose not to sign it. That's okay. Now we're getting ready, I think, for it to be $40 million. Okay? And before we say that's too much, look at the value of. Gas costs too much. Milk costs too much. It just comes out of a cow. Why did milk go up in price? Why does gas go up? Why? Why does the price of a candy bar, how much is a candy bar now? It's $1? So a candy bar is 10 times more expensive it was than I was a kid? It's 10 times? But if you want a candy bar, you buy a candy bar. Okay, I can skip the candy bar. You can't skip your electric bill. Can't skip buying gas for your car. You can't skip formula for your baby. So you pay what you got to pay. And you hope that you budgeted it right, salary cap wise, to make it all fit. And the Cowboys insist they have. Now maybe the budget was, maybe they budgeted for 35 and now they got a budget for 40, and we've got a shrinking salary cap this year, or at least not a non-growing salary cap. But the Cowboys have planned for this because they know. Trust me, they've planned. When Jerry stood in Oxnard, was this 2 years ago now? He did like this with his hands, like he was unfurling this ancient scroll of the Cowboys' budget and all the pieces in it. Dak was right there at X. First it was 30, then it moved to 35, now it'll move to 40. That's how much gas costs now, and you need gas. That's how much milk costs now, and your baby needs milk. I was talking to a friend of mine who's thinking of leaving his company and just going independent. I said, that sounds great. Be your own boss. Nobody pushing you around. I said, how's your baby? They said, oh, the baby's great. How's your wife and how's your, oh, they're great. I said, what are you going to do when the baby has a cold? And again, his first time dad. What do you mean? I said, you're going to take the baby to the doctor? Well, of course. Have you looked into how much that's going to cost without insurance? You're going to have to go buy insurance. And then he looked it up. Oh. And he hadn't left his job yet. Because your baby needs insurance, no matter how much it costs. And the Cowboys need a centerpiece quarterback who is the best leader in the building, and maybe the best player on the team. Gas, milk, Dak. Got to buy it. Fish out.